Welcome to the Top 200 podcast with your host, Herschel Ford.
What's up, everybody? It's Herschel Ford from High School Top 200, and this is the Monday morning meeting. Welcome back to another episode of First 15 Rugby here in New Zealand. If you're not on my socials, please go follow me on High School Top 200 on Facebook and HS Top 200 on my TikTok and Instagram. Please like it and share it and comment and all that kind of other stuff so that it lands in the algorithms, and that also that you share it for your friends and family. Also, if you want to keep a track of all the rankings are going to change this week from school rankings tomorrow, as well as also the year 12s are going to change, and also the top 200 itself. Go onto my website. It's a $5 subscription for the month, and keep up to date with all the changes in the rankings as well, and keep an eye on who's going up the ranks, and see all your mates and your brothers and your cousins and your boyfriends and your uncles and whatever. And just keep a track of that. I try and keep up to date with how everything is done. It's every 2 weeks, so next week will be the year 11s, and we had a few year 11s change. In the last one, there's just been so many good year 11 players that have been playing First 15 rugby this year. It's been really cool to see them all come through. So jump onto my website, hstop200.com, $5 subscription per month. It's not that expensive. I know a bunch of you buy coffees, and you buy like 3 or 4 of them a day. Cancel one of them and pay for a subscription per month to my website. This is how I get paid for everything I do. I don't have anyone backing me or anything like that. I just do it purely on subscriptions, and so this is how I am able to get around and travel so much and all that kind of stuff. I wish I could pay money for sleep, but I can't, because that would be awesome, because it means that I can travel. And this week was hard, and I was so gutted I missed the Auckland Grammar game and the Mahurangi game as well against Takapuna. This is the first time I've ever missed the Auckland Grammar game against Hamilton Boys. I don't know why I booked my daughter's parent and teacher interviews on that same day. I just did it because I was trying to be a good parent and being like, I'm supportive of my daughter's education. I didn't realize it was that same day. So gutted. And the thing is that I could have done it on a Thursday. I just didn't know that was the day that I was doing it on. So lucky my daughter's grades are good, and she had been good in class, because if she wasn't, karate chops, all that kind of stuff. But I'm happy. I'm happy with all that stuff. Gutted I missed the game. So if someone has that game, please send it to me, because I really, really love to watch it, as well as the St. Bede's one versus St. Peter's. I thought I forgot that one was on. Actually, I didn't know that one was on. I actually thought it was the second week. I thought it was this coming week. I didn't know it was last week's. If someone's got a copy of those games, please send it through. I'm still waiting for the Mahurangi Takapuna game. Someone was going to send it to me, and so it'll be cool to watch those games before I put up my team of the week. And so everyone understands, the team of the week is based on the games that I watch, not the games that you watch, because I'm not there with you, standing next to you, and then you telling me this guy played better than all those guys. Dude, also, I'm not there with you. I'm watching my own games. I'm being sent different games. If you haven't sent me the game, then I don't know the guy. I didn't see the game that you were watching that the guy ripped up in, or whatever. So if you want me to watch the games, and you want your son or your cousin to be, or your best friend to be considered to the game of the week, or to the team of the week, based on their performance, just send me the game. Send me the game so I can watch it too, and we can celebrate together, and I can agree with you. But if I don't, then I just don't. Remember, so far I've watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've watched 16 games so far this week. I still got some that I haven't watched, but I'm going to watch them tonight and hopefully tomorrow. And if I get sent some more, I'm going to watch some more on Tuesday. All right. So I have so many games to choose from and so many players to choose from for Team of the Week. I'm still trying to get games from Tyree. I'm still trying to get games from Wakatipu, which I've been sent some already. Been sent some from. I'm waiting for Central Southland College, which I hope someone sends me that game because I'm really keen to watch that one. But yeah, Southland one I'm going to watch tonight. The Te Aomuru one I'm going to watch tonight. I'm going to be watching the what is it? I forgot the other ones that I've got to watch tonight. But yeah, so this is all based on what the games that I actually see. There are people that send me the games, and then I put together those teams. And just because you make that Team of the Week doesn't put you into the top 200 straight away. It doesn't work like that. It works on consistency. So even those guys that are ranked pretty high and they just didn't make that team, just means that someone else played better. That is possible. That is possible that someone can play better than them and they're not ranked. It's just the way it goes, you know. It's just one of those things. So I want to do, since I brought up the year 11s, these are some of the year 11s that I'm impressed with, right? And like, these are some of the guys that I've been watching over the past, few weeks or so. Obviously, my number one is Matt Fleming. And if you haven't seen him, what makes him so good is like he's like a tall, rangy, lanky kind of guy, but he is strong. Like, because I've seen him push off tackles, I've seen him push off players, and I've seen him roll out of tackles, and then he's got a really fast first couple of steps out of the block, if you know what I mean. And his central direction will change, and then the lines that he picks to run is the reason why he's so good and why I really like him that much as a player, and why he's my number one player in the country. Even his tackling ability has been really good. And in all honesty, Ollie Mathis was probably this good when he was year 11. I would say attened and was this good when he was year 11. I can't remember. Some of these guys that have been... Asofa Moore was this good when he was year 11. I think I remember him playing at year 11 and being that strong. But I don't think I had the rankings up then as for year 11, but I just remember him being year 11 then. Yeah, and he's just so much better. So much better than everybody else. He's not better than Nico Stanley, and I think Nico Stanley's different. I think where Nico Stanley has it over him, because I think he's a better line runner than what Nico Stanley is. But Nico Stanley can stop everybody on defense. Like, I never ever saw him get beat out of the games that I saw him play last year. And because he's so big and strong, and this is kind of where Nico has it over him too, is that Nico was like big and strong physically. Matt Fleming's actually the same height, probably the same height as him, but just not as thick, not as muscular and all that kind of stuff either. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if next year we see Matt Fleming in New Zealand secondary schools alongside Nico Stanley. I wouldn't be surprised at that, judged on how good he is this year. And obviously he still has to play the games, he still has to work out, he still has to do all this kind of stuff. But in terms of like where I can see him next year, I can definitely see him as a New Zealand secondary school player. Because I know over this off season he's probably going to get into some weights. He's going to get strong. He's going to get bigger, and I just think that he's that kind of skilled kind of player. The other one is Fletcher Cooper. Now, if a lot of you haven't watched Fletcher Cooper before, he's the first five from St. Pat's Silverstream, and this dude is just so smart. and he uses like a whole bunch of range of things. Like, and the difference between him and Sonny Bill McAndrew, who's the first 5 from Christchurch, who's also in the top 5 of year. Of year 11s. The difference things between those two is that with Fletcher, I feel like when he uses his arsenal of skills and talents, he uses them and mixes up in different ways. He's pretty unpredictable with the way he plays, and then that can kind of get ahead of him because sometimes other guys might not be on the same page. And like lucky he's got someone like Elijah on the team and like William on the team and like those kind of guys who will be like, oh no, we can quickly adjust and get to them, all that kind of stuff. But Fletcher Cooper just does it so well. Him and Shea, I think, are a pretty good match in that backline and complement each other pretty well. But when you see Fletcher play, he'll use like little chips, little grubbers. He'll do skip passes. He'll take on the line, but he'll use a left foot step, take on the line, draw pass. He'll do the same move. Instead of use his left foot, he'll do it off the right foot and then cut back in again. Things like that. And like sometimes you just don't get that from year 11 players. And then like even when Sonny Bill McAndrews comes into it too, it's like Sonny Bill McAndrews will play pass, and then he'll just gun it, and then like he'll just footwork through a bunch of guys and then use a fend and then offload, like things like that. Like that's what I like about Sonny Bill McAndrew as well, is that like he'll physically do it. He'll physically charge at the line. He's not going to use a kick. But then like when he does use his kicking game, he's like pretty smart when he does about it. And like the system that Christchurch boys run is different. So with him, he's kicking when you're supposed to. His kicking downfield and his strategic kicking is based on field position and making sure that he just gets his team where he needs to be. With Fletcher Cooper on the other side will read the situation and be like, I think I have enough room to be able to do this, and then I'll just try and see. Try and see is a great thing. Fletcher Cooper tries and sees, and then see what happens from that. And it's happened to work out. Sonny Bill McAndrew is a bit of a game manager, but also knows, and he's picking these right times when he's actually taking on the line. And so it's been pretty cool to watch both of these guys play and then see where see how both of these guys are in different situations as well. Caleb Trask was a guy like that too from Rotorua boys when he was year 11. Did the same kind of thing too. Real sharp player too. Real sharp. Freno Kaplan, he's probably the best prop for me right now. And close by with him is Vaitupu. He's probably from Silverstream as well. And so, again, both of these guys from Christchurch boys. Freno's from Christchurch boys, and what's his name? Vaitupu is from Silverstream. And I think like what I've seen from Vaitupu, and like this is the reason why I like him so much, is that I think with Vaitupu is that his scrum game is a bit different. Like both of them are strong scrummagers. Frano's a strong scrummager too, but I feel like there's more power when it comes to Vaitupu. And I've seen it like sort of like different times, and I don't know whether it's time of the game when he's come on late in the half, and then he's been able to push back on like some of these props. But he never seems. I've never really seen him get dominated, and as year 11, that's a bit different. Like I haven't seen a lot of people get dominated. Like I haven't seen a lot of people not get dominated when they're year 11, especially in the front row, because it's a hard situation to be in when you're a prop. in that kind of high competition and then not get owned by some of the bigger, older boys. And so, Vaitupu and Frano both have been able to hold their own, be competitive, not physically get dominated, which is the other thing that, year 11s get sometimes, especially being in the front row and being able to, take all that pressure. I mean, Leasi Tupou is like another one from Gisborne Boys. He's been sort of the same, where he's been able to hold his own. What's his name from Selwyn Combined? Lennox Kupulani is another one as well, where the physically, even these guys, and like one thing I think people got to remember is like you can't just look at the boy and go, well, look how big he is, because being big like that and big and small in your mind, because you're still going, I'm 15 years old. I did the same when I played first 15. I was still 15 years old. I was 6'4", almost 6'5", and then going, oh, but this dude's 18, and physically he was stronger. And I don't know if maybe my confidence was just different from these boys, but I always had that in my mind as just like, yeah, I'm a 15-year-old playing against you who's turning 18. And I just turned 15, or I turned 15 later on in this year. So it's like those kind of situations. And so these boys have been able to physically be able to hold their own, but also dominate at the same time. Ball carry, when I think about ball carry, I'll probably give that to Vaitupu, just a better ball carrier, a lot more nimble than I kind of thought. Like his agility is pretty good for a dude that's like massive. Also, with Frano, like Frano will just take, heavy set line crashes and stuff like that, and that's great. With Vaitupu will kind of try and push his way through, put on a big fend here, things like that, try and bump guys off. Just different kind of style of play, but they're both real effective. I just thought, like, when I did the ranking and thought about them, and Lennox is the same, and Leasi is the same as well, as when I looked at them, I thought, okay, cool, I would pick them in this order if I was to go and pick a year 11 team. Even when you look at someone like Ruben, Fale Tutulu, I think his name, his last name Tutulu, from Takapuna, who played first 15 as a year 10, real big kid, solid boy, holds his own, but at the same time too is also learning that sort of step of like where can I like be able to use the most effective way I can use like my body. How can I be as effective as I can with this big unit that I have here? Am I a crash ball guy? Am I a clean out guy? Am I just a support player? Am I taking it from the front? All that kind of stuff. These kind of things are different. But like all these guys are like some of the best year 11 players that I've seen in a while as a whole. Like even last year's group was pretty good, and this year's is really up there too. Even Cullen Parai, who's like the second, he's been playing second five, played winger a few times, played second five for Hamilton Boys. I have this thing where I look at him and I think far out he'll be a pretty mean fullback. Maxwell was kind of like that too. And then when I seen him come back this year and he put on some size and some muscle and he went from the wing into second five and it looks like a second five. I have a feeling Cullen's going to be the same, where Cullen Parai is going to be like, he may be skinny now because he's just year 11. But in the off season, and usually what they do at Hamilton Boys is that, they pretty much get him ready for that year 12 and go, hey, you're going to have to start learning to be a leader, and Cullen's going to be the same kind of way. And I always thought maybe he'll be a mean fullback and maybe working his way back into, the 15 jersey. And I mean, obviously now we've seen Nathan Stevens, no one's beating that guy out. You really have to have like some kind of superstar fullback to beat him out. But Cullen's been he's stepped into the second five as Maxwell's been now, and he's been doing mean. And same thing, like his ball work, footwork to the line, knows how to take hits and knows how to avoid hits without, when going into contact, which is like something that some guys who don't have a lot of meat on them or have a lot of muscle on them sort of shy away from. And like Matt Fleming and Cullen Pryor kind of doing that right now, is where they're being able to, like, they're comfortable with taking that hit. And like, looking at these two, like if I was making my year 11 team, that would probably be my second five, and centre would probably be those two guys. And in all honesty, I think I'd put those two up against most midfielders in the country right now as year 11s. If I could put those two in the same team with as year 11, like as year 11s into a first 15, man, you'll dominate with those two against any normal, like, you know, first 15 midfield. You'd have to be like a really good midfield combination to beat these two guys, you know. And that's just how good both of them are. Satali Fretton is like, I saw him, these Cowston boys, he's sitting at number 7 on the rankings, and he's a blindside from Cowston boys. And I went and saw him last week, and I've seen him on tape, and I've seen him on film. I went and saw him last week, and I thought, flip, this dude is going to be, he's going to be the man. And I hope he grows taller. You know, I hope he gets to that height where he can be a number 8 blindside, not like at this level and first 15 level, but I'm talking about when he goes on to club and professional and pushes his way through those positions. Is that like, I think if he gets to that height, you know, he's going to open the doors a lot for himself in terms of opportunities of how coaches at the professional level will see a body type like him and a running style like him. And I know he's a league boy. I'm well aware that he's a league boy. But there have been a bunch of league boys that have changed, you know, bunch of league boys that have changed. And I think if there was one of those league boys that I'd want to go after, besides obviously Bishop Neal, would be you know, Satali. And so Satali Fretton from Cowston boys, and just the way that he managed his way, and I thought that he did great around the park. Like, one thing with league boys, and like that I've noticed a lot while watching, is league boys, and this is just part of their makeup as a player and been playing league their whole life, is that getting into the rucks, cleaning out rucks is not like second nature. It's not second nature to them. They just don't automatically do it. They have to sort of, they take that split second extra to go, oh shoot, I should be in there. Satali's kind of different, where he's just like, oh no, yeah, I run, clean out the next, I'll run again, clean out, I'll go out, be a support player, clean out again, take another run. And like, that's kind of how he works his way around the field, where other league players are sit back, hold back and go, oh shoot, and then they have to go. And you know, by then you got all these fast guys around the rucks who, like some of these number 7s, it's like, man, you're not leaving, you know, a bunch of 7s from around the country who are good, especially in the 1A, that you're just going to let them get over. It's like, you know, Daniel Lawrence and Arlo and those kind of guys they're just going to kill the ball if you take that split second too long. Satali's kind of different. That's why I like that dude. The two locks that I really like, Ollie Reid from Palmy Boys, who's sitting 4th on the rankings, and Callum Agnew, who's sitting 10th. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 10. 9. Anyways, those the locks. And I want to add in Tamilo Aheng from St. Peter's College in Auckland. Ollie Reid, pretty much to me, can start with any team in the country. Such a good player, so tall, uses his height well. Sometimes with tall guys, and like I've noticed, some tall guys are not good in the lineouts, and I don't know why that is. Where they're like, some tall guys are used as lifters, which I find strange. And when I see a tall guy not being lifted and used as a lifter, my first question is like, wait, how come you're not the jumper? Like, I never see Junior Slade, who's 6'7", 6'8", being used as a lifter. It's like, why are you not the first option? I understand when you kind of mix it up and blah blah blah, but it's like, hey, this is like the third line out and you're still not the one jumping. Why are you not in the first in the the first slot being the first jumper? I always look at that stuff. Ollie Reed to me gets the ball high at the top, hit the ball from the top, brings the ball down well, really secure when he tightens up on the mauls when they brings the ball down. He tackles, he does work around the rucks, even when he's skinny and he's young, still throws his body into it. Callum, who's a bit thicker, I think does a lot of work around the rucks too, carries really well, and makes meters, really, really pushes through his weight. Same thing with Tamiloa is like, and I haven't seen Tamiloa live yet, but the 3 games that I've seen him in on tape, I've thought, this guy does a lot of things older guys would do. And so, like, I'm really keen to see what it's like, but I think those 3 right there have been really, really solid locks and solid guys that are just, all really just right out first 15 players. It's because like sometimes year 11s you look at it and you go, oh man, I don't know if he can. We might drop him for a week or sit on the bench. We'll bring him on in the 50 or 55 minute, things like that. But most of these guys have been strong starters, strong bench guys, and I think that, and like for me, I'm always a fan first, so I kind of don't want to fanboy out on a lot of these guys and where they can be in the next year or 2 in terms of like higher honors, but a lot of these guys that I have mentioned even now, I feel like can get to those points. I feel like can get to those situations where they become that. I think Elisala's another one too. Elisala Malili Malo Lawano, who's from Fielding High School, playing on the wing. He probably move into the centre, second 5 centre. If he gets too big, like his brother, who's pretty massive dude before, maybe into the loose forward role. But Elisala's another dude who's a powerful runner, and pretty light on his feet. Same thing with Sam Burgess from St. Kennigan's, second 5. Another one, fullback like Victory Voice, who's learning his role now. He's in there, but he's still learning his role. Jeremiah, the number 8 from Tauranga, who got the red card. I feel sorry for him. Like, honestly, bro, if you listen to this, bro, just learn from it, bro. It's all right, man. Like, everyone makes mistakes. It's the heat of the game, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you don't know your own strength, whatever. But Jeremiah, just don't worry about it, bro. And I don't think they took it like that either. But yeah, another really good, Fijian number 8. I can see him being a force too as well, like, and especially under someone like Aiden Kuku, who's made so many good players over the last 3-4 years or so that he's had the first 15. Another guy I want to look at and I want to talk about too, is Brandon Burke, who's from St. Thomas, who's playing in the open side. Like, that dude is gonna be he's gonna be one of them ones too. Like, I really like him a lot, and I think that he's gonna be a big deal even next year. I have this feel like he's just already got this body type about him and this physical nature about him, and like, even so sometimes he doesn't win those physical confrontations that he has around the rucks, just the fact that he's doing it already and his technique is right about it, that's what I like about it. That's what I like seeing, is like someone who can do that. Ike Newlands Carter is the same, but Ike Newlands Carter, who plays for Waitaki Boys, he started all last year as a year 10. And I know people were thinking like Waitaki Boys is like, that's Waitaki Boys. I said, yeah, but that means he could have been like a 13 turning 14 year old, not a 14 turning 15 year old playing last year in the first 15. You still have to play Otago Boys, you still have to play Southland Boys, you still have to play John McGlashan and King's High School. So in terms of like just saying, oh well, that's just down south, I was like, yeah, but he still had to play those hard boys, and the fact that he still played them and was able to get through it, to me, Ike is one of those guys to watch out for. Tom Hewson, who I really like too. He was another guy too from Wellington College when they came here. The scores, whatever, but just him by himself and the way that he patrolled the back at fullback, just, shutting down kicks, making sure the return was all right. Rang strong, did what he could do. He was another one that I thought had, probably worth a mention. There's a lot of them, like Rico Wilson I really like. Liam Soper, I really like him. Abraham Vaionga. He's a fullback from Shirley. That dude is a sharp player too. Like, if you get a chance to watch him, he's a really sharp player. I like the way he plays too. But yeah, that's just some of the Year 11s I've liked watching so far this year, and who we have the privilege of watching them for 2 more years after this too. I just like it, man. I love watching all this young talent coming up, getting into first 15, going on to high honours, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty mean. To me, I like that stuff, so I get excited over that stuff. That's why I love doing this first 15 rugby. Getting into games though, alright? And we'll go through them quick because I've watched a bunch of them as well. Westlake Boys against Massey, the one that I went to on Tuesday, which was it was good. Like it was good. It was typical Westlake style of game, and Munro Fusitoa is one that stood out to me, and the centres for Massey. Amilale was another one too, the number 8. Him and Sonny, who was the number 7. I thought those guys had really good games for Massey. And I think it's like the normal thing when you have like Arlo Solomone and Travis Finley to me they're the best. To me, they're the best loose trio in the country. They're just so good. All of them so good. All three of them just together just makes things so hard for every team. And I expect one of them to make New Zealand secondary schools. It's going to be hard for 2 of them. Definitely not all 3 of them. But I think that those guys have a say, and they have played good enough to really say that they should actually be in the Blues under 18s. Whether they're in the all in one team or split up. But I have a feeling that if one of them don't make it to New Zealand secondary schools, it's going to be, there has to be some kind of explanation for it, Because I feel like if you take one of them and put them into other teams, they start as well. They start and they're dominant as well, But that game was good. Massey over the last few years have had some problems. And I don't think it's coaching. I think it might be just the rotation of players. Sometimes they'll have really good forwards and they'll have really good backs, and then they just won't be there at the same time, kind of thing. But what I do like about the team right now is that they look like they're a top side because they've got size, they've got agility, and they've got heaps of mobility in that forward pack. Maybe fitness needs to be hit up on a belt, but for the most part, they've got everything. And if they're led by Munro, they're led by Amalali and Sonny, I think that they can get somewhere if they keep building. And building their games throughout this year is cool. You just have to make the top 4, and then you can prove yourself from there. So I think if they build to that, they're going to be something. I think they can be in that finals if they really play it well. And because that Westlake game wasn't really out of reach. If you watch the game, they weren't out of reach. The Otago Timaru game, I haven't got through all of it, got through half of it. Most of the first half's just been a real big battle, back and forth kind of thing. So, yeah, I really want to finish that game, maybe study a little bit more. Who was it? Nick Murray, the captain from Timaru Boys, the open side. He was playing a really good game too. And, so I just want to watch the rest of that. But I already heard what happened where they got nicked out at the end, but yeah, I'll see it for myself. Silverstream and New Plymouth Boys. Like, New Plymouth Boys is different, eh, man? Like, I don't know what's wrong with them. And Cade Davis, who's such a good player, and I hate to put it just on one player, but to me, he is carrying a lot of what that team does and how they start things off. The way that he carries the ball and saves them in tackles, and like, he's just doing a lot. He's doing a lot. And I feel like the other boys just have to step up in a little bit. And Sheehan's pretty cool too, like at halfback, you know. But I think, like, one thing I haven't seen from them in a few games, and I actually understand and I believe that they should have beaten Hastings. Hastings were having a terrible game. New Plymouth had some striking moments and really good defense for the most part, but they almost like ran out of ideas. And I don't know what it is about their team. And seeing them play Silverstream from the Hastings game, from the Francis Douglas game, those things are just too mixed up to me. They sort of they're just too up and down and inconsistent with the way that they play. And I mean, if I'm annoyed, because I know they can be a really good team, I guarantee that their coaches are annoyed and the players themselves are annoyed. And I get it that Super 8 is a hard game to play. They've always, being a Super 8 team, being a traditional team, because they're one of the traditionally strong teams overall. They've got some traditions like, Silverstream and that, and Auckland Grammar, and, those things were just too up. Like, even the game against Auckland Grammar, I just couldn't believe how off they were. They were just so off, and they shouldn't have been that bad, because they showed against Hastings that they could do this. They showed it even against Silverstream they could do it too. And it's almost like they play themselves to... It's like they get too excited that they're on a roll and they just end up messing it up. And they kind of just got to get over that hump, whatever it is. But they've got so much talent. They've got good coaching staff. They've got a tradition behind them of like a really good team that can inspire and to do really good things. I just don't know what that is that just keeps stopping them from having all of these up and down kind of moments in these games. But yeah, I thought they should have got someone, I thought they were actually going to come back and do something against Silverstream, but 31-26, still good. I don't know what they're going to do about it. Heaps of upsets this week, Rotorua and Tauranga. Pretty messy game, once he got sent off with the red card, I kind of thought Rotorua boys was going to come back and they were going to make, sort of run, but then they got their own yellow cards as well, and it's just like, hey. And I actually think Hastings boys and Rotorua boys have the same problem. They have the same problem in terms of, and this is going to sound real bad, and I hope you boys take this in the best way, but I know that some of you boys are not, because I don't know, probably I wouldn't have taken it in the right way if I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Someone told me this, but I feel like some of these players are playing like we've already earned our greatness. And the writing on the name of what Hastings Boys Rugby means in New Zealand and what Rotorua Rugby means in New Zealand. And both teams have a lot of ranked players. Both teams have a lot of players that are New Zealand reps and going to be New Zealand reps or could be New Zealand reps, whether it's in New Zealand secondary schools or in the New Zealand Māoris or in the New Zealand Barbarians. There's a bunch of these guys on both of these teams that are high rep, skilled, honoured kind of players, and a bunch of these guys are still playing like they've already earned that spot. And really the only one that can say they've earned it is Hutchings. Like, he's the only one that can say it because he's already had the black jersey on. Everyone else is still gunning for that. Everyone else should still be working for that. Everyone else should be working for a Super 8 champion title and for a top 4 run to national titles. Both of these schools already have national titles under their belts. And I just get this feeling that some of these players on both of these teams are playing like they're already guaranteed a national top 4 as well as a black jersey at the end of this year. And I think the way, I don't know if it's one of those if it's one of those players only meetings that these guys have to have. But Dwayne Wade called out LeBron. Like, Otani was put on the spot. Richie McCaw and Daniel Carter, and they all took accountabilities. Mills Marina and Kevin Mealami, they all took responsibility. Gordon Tallis was put on the spot and took responsibility. Lockyer was the same. Like, everyone gets, every superstar that thinks that they should be, that thinks that they're the best, that knows that they have the ability to be the best, or take accountability for what's not happening in the team. They don't usually look at like what you're not doing and what you're not doing and what you should do. And this is like, most of them look at themselves and go, I need to do this more. And maybe some of these guys in both of these teams need that. But from the two teams that I seen at the beginning of this year to what I saw on Saturday and like sort of the week before, it's not really the same kind of teams that I have seen. And they're digressing. They're digressing. And I'm not saying that Palmi's bad. It wasn't about that. I'm not saying that Tottenham is bad. I'm just saying that the way that they played and what they put out there, they didn't look the same from what they looked and what they've prepared to be from the preseason games. When you prepare for your season and what you want to do and what you want to perform and how you want to, execute everything, I'm not seeing that same energy and that same intent that they had in preseason to now with the season started. And we're only early in the season too. We're only early in the season. And it's already starting to look this way. And maybe some of you boys should go to your parents and ask them honestly, like, what do you guys think? Because maybe some of the parents are just holding back and they're just like, hey, we're just there to support. Maybe just guys need to get some truth put into you by your parents, by your coaches, honest assessments. Maybe you need to reflect on yourselves and be honest about your performance. I mean, all of you guys get, your games given to you and recorded and all that kind of stuff. Or, Carter Moldy do a great, live stream that you can always go onto YouTube. So you can double check yourself and you could really be honest with yourself on how it's done. And just see what you think. that's just my thoughts. I may not be right, and you guys may say, Herschel's full of ish and whatever, but I'm just saying what I see and just being honest and trying to be just trying to be honest with you. Like, I think most people appreciate some honesty, whether you want to hear it or not. That's just what I'm saying. If you don't want to hear it, press pause or skip or whatever, and you don't have to listen to it. You can listen to it and just you don't have to take it on. It's up to you. That's just what I thought and what I got from the games, because both of these games were hard to sort of watch, knowing what these teams can produce. I think Marlborough's like a different one. Like, we even want to watch Marlborough's game. Marlborough's different. Like, Marlborough's never really been, since I've started, have never really been a powerhouse, always a contender kind of team. They've always had good individual players, but as a team, they've never been this good as a team. And whatever you may say about the call of how, the try was scored and the ref just made an honest mistake, like, people F up too, so he just made an effed up call that he just didn't know. And I didn't know that either. I didn't know you had to have an honest attempt. I just thought you just had to attempt kicking the ball. Didn't have to go over. But yeah. All I know is that from that game, it was so back and forth. It was pretty even. And I know that next game, both of these teams are coming with something different. And whoever finds that different gear that you're supposed to be in is probably going to win that game, because both of them cancelled each other out in that game. And to me, Nelson College rose to the occasion of Marlborough boys and really took it to them. And if they can do that again, they're going to win. Marlborough has to do something different. Marlborough has to show that they are our top 5 team, that they are a top 10 team, that they are one of the best in the country, or the best in the country, and they should be looking at their situation going, well, we should be the best in the South Island and we should represent the top 4, and we're going to take this a game at a time and win every single game so we can get there. That's what I think, because I think Marlborough's got that team. And maybe on a dry pitch it would have been different. But it's funny too, because like Nelson's just done their field, and even on the film, on the televised, we could see how muddy it was, and we could see how wet it was. I just know that when you're at the park, it's going to be different. And they were supposed to, they spent so much money on their field that it was supposed to be different. It kind of looked like it was the old one. Getting back to the old one. But yeah, that was a good game. And, wish that... I wish something like that didn't happen, where like it took away from the victory and, all that kind of stuff. But that's just how it is. St. Paul's Collegiate and St. Peter's School, Cambridge, is becoming one of my favourite teams to go and watch, rival games to go and watch. For me, St. Pat's Town and Silverstream is probably still the best one, probably along with maybe Hamilton Boys Rotorua, and Christ's College and Christchurch Boys is probably the other one. Those are probably my favourite rivalry games to watch. But the St. Peter's and St. Paul's one, that was a big game, and I wish that they had it on. I wish they had it televised. It was such a good game to watch. Butchie and Izzy and Finn, just so good. Like those guys for St. Peter's, and having that as your, 10, 12, 13, even with like Cruz at the what's his name, Luca at the back at 15, such a hard backline to mark and to mark up with, and and like one player I actually like too, and I've seen him a couple of times, is what's his name, the second 5 from St. Paul's Collegiate, the redhead dude, what's his name, Caden Robinson. that dude is good. That dude is good, and him, and I know Quintus Daniel was in centre on Saturday or on Thursday, but it's usually Caden Robinson and Lucas Hale, and Lucas has come back from injury, so that they brought him off the bench. But that midfield is pretty dominating. Like, that's a dominating midfield, and they're so physical and violent with their, not even just on attack, but even on defense. And they're both big dudes. Like, Caden and Lucas are big guys, and so I hope St. Paul's work it out. I hope they work it out. George Benjamin also had a good game in that as well. But to me, it was just, it was just too good. Like, St. Peter's backline was just too good. And I knew there was only a couple of points that was going to be in it, maybe a try or something like that. And so having a 14-19 game is like a pretty good indication of where both of these schools are at. And I mean, I wish like they could play more games against like St. Andrews. Like, St. Andrews would be good in this competition. St. Andrews, St. Thomas. I'm not just picking them because they're all Saints, but like, it would be like really good to watch those kind of teams play against, St. Paul's and St. Peter's. Just the same style and type of players, kind of thing. These teams are coming up. I think like the biggest surprise was probably Westlake boys against Whangarei boys, 17. I haven't watched the game yet. I think I'm getting it sent. Hopefully it's tonight. But I'm going to watch that one too, because that's going to be pretty. That's going to be pretty interesting to see how it went. I'm still going to watch the Rotorua Rosmini. I've got that game sent to me too, as well as I already said Southland, and there's another game I'm getting sent to. But it's been a big week. Please, if you got some games, send it to me through Messenger. If you got VO, you can just send it through Messenger, and I'll watch it on my TV and stuff. And obviously, when I get these games, I don't send it to people. I don't send it to coaches. I don't send it to players. I just keep it to myself, and it's all just so I can watch and learn and get better at knowing what's happening and how players are, how teams are, things like that. It's just for me. Okay, and you're my promise. I'm not giving it out to anybody else. I'm not getting it sent out. And if someone says that I sent it to you, it's like, show them the proof. Ask them to show you the proof of me sending it to them, because guarantee, man, they got nothing. All right, but it's already been too long. I thought it was going to be a pretty quick one. Please, all you teams from the South Island, from the Southern Schools Rugby Championship, I'm really keen to watch the Waitaki boys for the blood match, Waitaki boys and St. Kevin's. I still want to watch that Central Southland College against South Otago High School. I'm really keen on watching that. Also the Mount Aspiring one against Cromwell, because Mount Aspiring just beating Cromwell by 5. I thought it would be a little bit more, but I know there's a couple of dudes at Cromwell that are pretty decent. And the other game or two is... Okay, the same message that I sent to Rotorua boys in Hastings, Otago listened to that too, and then that I'm talking to you guys as well. How the hell do you guys at Rotorua boys, Otago boys, get beaten by Dunstan, you beat King's High School, then you lose to John McGlash? So weird. And I'm not even saying that like John McGlashan is a bad team, because John McGlashan is kind of young, kind of a new kind of squad. They don't have it all put together like they did last year, where they had a really mean team. A lot of those guys left, and then like these guys that are back now, they don't have enough experience to put together a good enough first 15 to hang with everyone. Where Otago boys does have a good first 15. It's like they're resting or something. I don't know. Something's not going on right at Otago boys, and it shouldn't be that up and down. That's what I reckon. Anyways, I've been talking on too long. I'm Herschel Furlong from High School Top 200 Monday Morning Meeting Podcast. Love you all. Later, bye.